It's Ryan here. Just reacting to the aftermath of what happened last night. Apologies if you don't hear me too well. Just having a bit of finished 2-2 between Leicester City and Hull last night. Which unfortunately sealed the inevitable. Leicester City going down to League One, only the second time in our history, and it was really self-inflicted once again. Top and walking, hang your heads in shame. And this is the consequence of poor decision making, putting underperforming players or mediocre players on ridiculous contracts, i.e. John Wilkin, that is, and Top for just allowing it to happen, and it's just an absolute disgrace. I've never been this disgusted, this embarrassed right now to be a Leicester fan at the minute. At least you can look back on memories of the great times winning the league, winning the FA Cup, great escapes. But it's just really sad times here. And the biggest problem is, how is it going to move forward? I mean, I've seen the average wage bill in League One, it's £9 million, just over that. Our wage bill last season was over £153 million. I mean, how are you going to sustain yourself? I mean, we've been relegated with the highest wage bill in the Championship. It's absolutely disgusting. And when we got relegated from the Prem in 2023, it was the 8th highest wage bill. I mean, I've never seen such a dramatic, embarrassing fall from grace that I've ever seen from a football club. It's really, really sad. I stopped going to the games back in January last year after the Palace defeat, because I took a stand and of my own. Apologies, there's cars going by. Stop going. Stick sit down here. My help. Yeah, stopped going back in January last year because I can't. This is my way of saying I can't. It's my way of saying that I can't support this regime, the way it's running the club. Further away from here. And the longer they continue, Top and walking alongside him, I seriously worry about his long term going forward financially. I mean, if we don't bounce back the first time around, I mean, where the hell do we move? Where do we go from here? I mean, it's utterly embarrassing. Yeah, this decline for me really started, I think, after we won the FA Cup. Where Brendan Rodgers at the time changed the model of what we were so good at, and that was selling assets for huge money, which we don't have much of that now anymore. That's gone. Now we're down to League One. We're going to have to sell. It's not good. It's not good. We had to sell players for very low salary. Well, low fee, sorry. I mean, I'm just worried about the way the club goes now. I just feel utterly disgusted, embarrassed. How can those players live with themselves that they've had to be part of a squad that has suffered back-to-back relegations of Vestergaard, Daka, Winks, I mean, Luke Thomas, another one. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, to give Jordan Ayew the number 9 shirt after Vardy left us, I thought it was a total insult. That number 9 shirt should have been retired after Vardy left the football club. I mean, don't give it to somebody that can hardly score a goal, if anything. I mean, I just feel utterly embarrassed to a fan of the club. I shouldn't feel like that, and I just feel apathy to everything, which is really sad. I mean, it's not long ago. 5 years ago we won the FA Cup. 4 years ago, European semi-final, by the way. And it's shocking what's happened. It's just so devastating for everybody. Got into the fan base, also members of staff behind the scenes that are now going to be losing their jobs or be made redundant. I mean, it is utterly appalling. And I was watching the game last night, and only half of the fans attended. I was expecting it to be very limited numbers, and it turned out to be the case. And even though there was fighting spirit, there was a bit of second half that had a bit more of a go. First half, there was a disgrace. And even when we did score the 2 goals, I didn't even bother celebrating, really, because I just knew with that bunch that they were going to eventually chuck it away, and they did. And it took them all about 6 or 7 or 8 minutes to score an equaliser. Was I shocked? No. It's and that's how I feel. This is what I. That's how bad it's got. That I don't get angry about it. I just felt resignation point. And normally I'd get so wound up and upset, getting when the thing's going wrong and the club gets relegated like that, like this. But I'm not now because that's how bad it's got. And yeah, I just don't think top. For me, I think it's definitely been evident that he's not as committed to the football club like his father was. And the longer that he keeps holding on to this football club, then I'm worried that it's going to get worse. And I think for me, he has to sell. For me, he has to. If he loves the club as much as his dad did, time to sell up, mate. Because you have shown evidently in the last four years, but in particular, that you can't win it. You can't win it. Unfortunately, this club has not been the same, and I keep saying it since Coventry Chai sadly died all them years ago. Not been the same football club. And it breaks my heart to say it, but it's the reality, unfortunately. The only real positive, really, to come out is only a small, minor positive, really, and it's not saying much because it's a real dark time, really, for this football club that I really loved and cared for most of my life, but it's killed the passion out of me for the last couple of years. That is that majority of those players are at the end of their contracts. Daka, Ricardo, out of contract. Ayu, out of contract. The loan players will be going back. I.e. Joe Weibo, John James, Ramsey. Jamal Lascelles out of contract. He was only here for a short term. What a real sad time this. Yeah, this has come 10 years. This is 10 years after winning the Premier League, and against incredible odds. I was screaming like I'd never done before back then. When on that famous night when we won it, I had tears in my eyes, full of happiness, achieving that, seeing my club achieve that dream, and that will never be taken away, right? And I always will be grateful to the family under Coventry Chai's watch, mainly for the first half of it, when we had unbelievable success, winning the play, doing the great escapes, Champions League nights, and I always will always be grateful for those memories, because that will stay on me forever. But since he tragically died, Top stepped in. He's shown that he can't win it, and it's time for him, if he has any care in the world about this football club, like his dad does, like his dad did, sell him, mate. I'm at that point where he needs to go. Sell him. But knowing him, he probably won't, and he'll probably stay loyal to John Woodkin because that's what he keeps doing, and that's what's holding us back. This is why we can't move forward, because he's too loyal, like John Woodkin. He's too loyal. can't see within themselves that the club's falling away, it's declining, falling on his knees. Imagine though how the rest of the fan base feel. Not just the members of staff behind the scenes, how they feel. Now they're going to lose their jobs. Seriously. It just blows my mind. And also, what I really get so angry about with this way it's been mismanaged is handing players ludicrous contracts like Harry Winks, 90k a week, Vestergaard, 70k a week, Daka, 70k a week, Skip, 50k a week. Right? It's absolutely ridiculous. Ricardo the same. And yet he was given the captain's armband for this season, and he's not a leader. He's not a captain. I mean, that interview that he did after the game last night summed everything up. He's not captain material. I mean, come on. No, I always will love Ricardo, right? He's been a brilliant servant to the club, mainly for the first few years when he was here, right? For the first few years, the bad injuries have really, really hampered his time here, particularly in the latter years, and since then hasn't been anywhere near the same player. And I think he's stayed with this club for far too long, for my liking. But some players I'm disgusted at. Winks. Who the hell does he think he is? After the game of Portsmouth at the weekend, having the audacity to tell some fans to F off before getting on the team bus. Who the hell does he think he is? He ain't gonna be here. Hopefully. I can't wait to see the back of him, even though he's now got a year extension to the contract. That was triggered. But I'm hoping to God that he gets out the door. When he came on last night, the fans gave him right stick. Booed him when he came on, and every time he took a touch on the ball. And I can't blame him. Don't blame the fans for doing it, because he deserves it for my liking. And Vars were chanting at the end of the game, "You're not fit to wear the shirt." And rightfully so, they deserve it. Because that's what I think of them. And the only player out of that squad this season that can hold his head held high is John James. The only player that has been anywhere near consistent this season. The only one. And you saw how he felt during that game and Portsmouth. He felt a bit embarrassed, really. And it's not his fault. He has dragged us through so many games this season. And I think he'll get a move to a Premier League club at some point, because he's earned that in my book. Because if it weren't for his goals, we could have been relegated so much earlier. But yeah, it's not good times. But I've been going to before now. I've been going to matches for a long time. I've seen the bad times. This is it. But that famous saying that I've seen the bad times and will come back. This is going to be, I think, more difficult to come back from because of the way it's been run. The longer they're here, I don't see us moving forward. If for us to have any chance whatsoever, we need, I think, new ownership. In my opinion, I think it's time for Tom to sell. In my opinion, that's where I'm at right now. And majority of the fans deserve answers, deserve an explanation as to why you've neglected them. Why have you not given them any communication at all? It's all good doing it last night with certain fans after the game that I saw, but where's that been? But where has that been for a large portion of it? Where's it been? Where has that been, mate? I mean, you don't see John Wilkin coming out and saying anything. You don't communicate. It's just, yeah, it's absolutely horrible. Yeah. The only positive is small minor positive, and is I'm just clutching here that the majority of that squad will be gone. Majority of them, and that's the only hope I've got. But this squad, well, yeah, scrap that. This club needs a major, and I mean major, reset. We don't know how that's going to happen, but it is in clear need of one. And that means whole bunch of new players integrated with some of the youth that are prepared to put that shirt on and give absolutely everything for the cause. Because I saw that stat prior to the Portsmouth game, and we were in the bottom 5 for every stat in the winning stats. What does that say to you about most of the bunch of players thinking that they're better than they are when they're not? I've never been that disgusted, really, and that's why we've been relegated. One of the reasons why we've gone down. It's not down to the fact there's lack of quality in the squad. There is technical ability in the squad. It's definitely that, but the fight wasn't. The attitude stank for majority of the squad. Contrast that to the last relegation to E1 in 2008. The squad completely lacked quality that year, but the effort and the fight couldn't be questioned. It was definitely there, and you saw how devastated they were to a man. We were equally as devastated, but they certainly were, because they gave a shit. Gave it absolutely everything they could, but they just didn't have the quality throughout the season. Which I, as a fan, and the majority of the fans can take and accept. But not this. Not when you got players that have better quality than the 2008 squad have, but yet are not prepared to put the effort in as a team. They're not prepared to fight and scrap. Unlike the other teams that have been around us, like Oxford, Portsmouth, Blackburn, West Brom. Those teams have shown fight, prepared to dig in and give it a scrap. But we haven't, and that's why we've gone. And that is really heartbreaking for so many fans. And it's an insult to them. They've paid their hard-earned money week in, week out to watch that shit. Not just this season, but last season. So, yeah, I'm just so utterly embarrassed to be seeing our team decline like this so quickly. It's unbelievable. Just bear me a second, just watching it step. acceptable. And even if we bounce back first time around, I don't think the fans are gonna forgive the ownership now for the way it's been, for the way they've mismanaged the football club and run it into serious decline. It's disgusting. I'm not sure how many fans are going to be attending the games next season. That's another worry. The revenue is going to take a severe hit. It's going to be very, very low. TV revenue in particular. So apologies about that call just going by. The TV revenue is going to be severely hit. It's going to be severely damaged as a result of this. Don't know what's going to happen with this commercial and sponsorship revenue. That's for another day. But yeah, the wage bill needs a dramatic overhaul and a proper sort out. Because that's what has got us into this mess, really. As I said before, finding out stupid contracts like Daka, some other players before then, Samari, like Bertrand as well. Cody was on monster wages. Even Ndidi, I saw part of the newspaper article last night that he was paid something like over 100k a week to prevent him leaving on a free transfer. Like, what? And then Colin Cody when we got rid of him to Wrexham, when we got rid of him to Wrexham, Colin Cody that is, that I think it was that we were still obliged to pay the wages, or contribute to the wages. Like, what are you doing? You wonder why the fans don't trust the ownership. Come on, man. They just do certain things that fans over the age. So it's so rotten and devastating, really. Yeah, I've been going on about this for the last half an hour. I just need to get this all off my chest because of what's happening. But I feel better doing it. So, yeah. I've seen the great times and I've seen the lows. I just don't know what happens from here. Moving forward as a club. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of tough decisions that are going to be made in the summer. It's going to be one heck of a summer. Patala will be sold, that's going to be definite. We know that. Monga is definitely going to be leaving. I already mentioned about players being out of contract at the end of the season. That's evident. But yeah, we need to sell Christensen. We need to sell Winks. Those are the players that we need to get rid of and get some fees, some kind of fee. Vestergaard's another. We need to sell him. Get some small fees and that kind of thing. But this is the consequence we have. Yeah, as I've mentioned already, handing out stupid wages and long contracts. I mean, you don't do that. It's not the way to operate. And what really is another thing that just came to my mind. When we sacked Marty Cifuentes, right? And this is what really sticks in my craw, and what made me tip over the edge with this ownership, is that well-run football clubs. Look what Bournemouth just done, by the way. Ariola is leaving them, right? End of the season. But what do? They got their replacement lined up ready. Marco Rose set to come in as the next manager. That is the best example of how a well-run club should be run. They got somebody ready to come in, and that's why they're not going to suffer, because they'll even if they lose the manager or so not certain players, because they're well run, because they're ambitious. It's a well-run football club. They don't wait till they get someone in. They've got that certain person lined up ready, but to take over as the manager. But yeah, what do? We sacked Marty. Did we have someone ready to come in at that time? No. All we did was diver, wait, and wasted something like four or five games or something, and didn't have a manager for 3.5 weeks. And Galway comes in. That is not how you operate as a football club. If you're going to sack somebody, if you feel Smart is not longer the right man, you should be having someone ready to come in, lined up. But a club doesn't do that, they just diver. And it's not the first time they did it, by the way. They did this after we sacked Wyndham Rodgers. But yeah, they didn't get someone in place for two weeks. Jesse Marge was about to come in, but that fell through, and we ended up getting Dean Smith. Wasted 2 home games that could have Delhi got positive results from, and ended up losing them all. These are examples of not learning from your mistakes, that they keep happening week in, week out, or year after year. They may have made some small changes within the structure, but I just don't think the fans are changing their minds about the ownership anytime soon. They're just not having it. And they got James McCowan in as a sporting director. But yeah, John Lucking gets a promotion. John Lucking gets a promotion to Chief Football Officer. Mad. And he was part of this, and yeah, he gets promoted. Why? I mean, it's an absolute disgrace, really. It's a shambles. I just don't see them turning this around. I just seriously don't. Majority of the fans feel the same way. There'll be still this so small minority that think, oh, don't worry, it's fine. We've been here before, we'll bounce back and all that. Wake up. It's not going to bounce back on the way it's being run. Look at it. It's run so badly. I mean, it's time for them to wake up. It's time for them. Some happy crackers to wake up. It's not going to happen. And I've been saying it for the last, I'd be going as far to say the last few years. So you just hearing that noise, I'm just going past the school that I used to go to, so you used to enjoy back over there. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it there for now. I've said enough. And we've been here before, we've seen the heights, as I said before, seen the lows, and where on earth did this football club move from here? So, yeah, it's really sad. So, thanks for listening to me. I'll put this video up once I get back. I decided to go for a walk out in the fresh air and get off things off my chest after what happened last night. So yeah, thank you for listening.